Hey basketball guys, we have news. Let's go to more news from the Golden State Warriors, but before that, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. The Warriors are looking to qualify for the playoffs without going through the tiring and feared play-in. The team has improved a lot with the arrival of Jimmy Butler. The Warriors were hit hard when they learned of Gary Payton's serious injury, which is unlikely to make him a return this season. Gary Payton has been struggling with injuries, and despite his importance to the Warriors, he is likely to be traded after the season. Gary Payton's injury could disrupt the Warriors' rotation plans. The Golden State Warriors received some terrible injury news on Thursday. Golden State has been a completely new team since acquiring Jimmy Butler, and there's belief in the Warriors' locker room that they can make a serious run at a championship this postseason. With Stephen Curry, Draymond Green, and now Butler on the floor, anything is possible for the Dubs. However, Golden State will have to collectively pick up the slack defensively moving forward, as they might be playing without one of their stars on that end of the floor, possibly for the remainder of the season. Golden State Warriors G/F Gary Payton II has sustained a torn ligament in his left thumb and will be out for an indefinite period, sources tell ESPN, Charania posted to X. Brutal blow to the Warriors' rotation. Losing the 32-year-old Payton II will be tougher to overcome for the Warriors than most people assume. He provides ridiculous athleticism and constant effort on defense, often picking up the opposing team's best guard full court. Plus, he's an underrated lob threat on offense and a real weapon in transition. Payton has a championship ring to his credit, playing a notable role during Golden State's 2022 title season. Hopefully, Payton's thumb can heal in time for a return to action, especially if the Warriors advance deep into the playoffs. But the initial post from Charania doesn't sound promising. Two Warriors stars who can be winners from Gary Payton injury blow, chance to step up. Gary Payton II might be out for the rest of the regular season, and the Golden State Warriors have two players who can step up. During the Golden State Warriors' 112-86 loss to the Miami Heat, Gary Payton II went down with an injury. It was later revealed that he had suffered a torn ligament in his thumb and he will be out for an indefinite period, but no shorter than a week. There is a chance that the defensive stopper will miss the rest of the regular season. The Warriors are 41-31 on the season and are tied with the Los Angeles Clippers for the 6th seed in the Western Conference, although LA has the tiebreaker advantage, meaning the Warriors need to end the season with a better record than the Clippers to avoid the play-in tournament. Since the All-Star break, Payton II has averaged 10.1 points per game and remained one of the best defenders in the Warriors lineup. With him missing possibly the final 10 regular season games, Golden State will need players to step up and take the torch. View tweet. Jonathan Kuminga can show that he belongs. After this season, Payton II will be an unrestricted free agent and Jonathan Kuminga will be a restricted free agent, although with minutes and money already committed to Jimmy Butler, there might not be room for both youngsters in the rotation next season. Kuminga has already missed substantial time this year with an ankle injury, and in his 7 games back, the Dubs are 4-3. He is averaging 14 points and 3 rebounds during that stretch, down from his season average, but he is playing a smaller role with Butler in town. Head coach Steve Kerr seems to think he can rely on Kuminga, who is also a versatile defender like Payton. JK is the obvious guy, put him on the best defensive player, pick up full, harass people like Gary does, Kerr said to ESPN's Shams Charania. I am going to ask JK to do that. Definitely opens up more minutes for him if he's effective with that. If Kuminga can step up in this final stretch and show Golden State that not only can he fit in with Butler but he can also play a larger role off the bench, then he should be a fixture in their rotations for years to come. Brandon Podziemski can put it all together. Last season, Brandon Podziemski and Jamie Jaquez Jr. were in a battle to see who the 4th best rookie was. Both have taken a clear step back this season, but with a larger role open, Podziemski might be able to re-find his form from last season. So far, he's off to a good start and has bounced back from a horrid beginning to the season, but he hasn't been the two-way force advertised last season. His shot-making has improved over this season, but he simply has not taken the step forward many expected him to take. With Payton 2 out of the lineup, Podziemski will be leaned on more on both sides of the ball. If he can continue to shoot near 40% from three-point range and be a positive defender with Kevin Looney and Kuminga behind him, then he could replace Payton 2 as a serviceable point-of-attack defender. Regardless of who Kerr and the Warriors decide to lean on to replace Payton, Butler himself will need to step up in a big way and take on a leadership role both on and off the court. The Warriors can't win the tiebreaker over the Clippers, but they could clinch the 6th seed outright. Why Steve Kerr believes Jonathan Kuminga makes Dubs completely different team. Since returning from an ankle injury, Golden State Warriors forward Jonathan Kuminga has been under the microscope. From the fans of Dub Nation to the local Bay Area media, everyone is examining whether or not Kuminga's playstyle is cohesive to this Warriors roster with heavy championship aspirations. And 6 games into his reintegration process, it is visibly still a work in progress. But if you ask Steve Kerr, it's still early to judge Kuminga's fit with a team that's completely different than the one that existed before the trade deadline, as he noted on 95.7 The Game. I think, Kuminga's coming along. He played well in that first night out versus the Sacramento Kings, Kerr said. I'm always of the mindset that with injured guys, the first game back is the easiest one. They are running on adrenaline and can't wait to get back. It's the next couple that seem to get guys. In Kuminga's return versus Sacramento, his fit looked seamless. He glided to 18 points on 7 of 10 shooting and eye test-wise, played with ease in his redefined role off the ball. But since then, he's had some trouble maintaining that effortlessness of the fit. Since the Kings win, he's averaging a -7 ± despite averaging 13.0 points, 3.2 rebounds, and 3.2 assists a game. It's been a polarizing stretch for Kuminga. Sometimes he looks like the second coming of Giannis Antetokounmpo barreling down the fast break. Other times, he looks unsure of where he's supposed to be in an offense that relies on ball movement, spacing, and quick thinking. Growing pains on a different Warriors team. Returning to the court hasn't been without some frustration for the 22-year-old. In the Milwaukee Bucks game where he shot 2-10 from the field, he collected an indefensible flagrant foul on Gary Trent Jr. in the Atlanta Hawks loss. He got into some trash-talking with Caris LeVert. And while a lot of that situation was initiated by LeVert, Kuminga only played 6 minutes in the second half. In that same radio interview with Willard and Dibbs, Kerr explained the reality of Kuminga's situation. I think the biggest thing, honestly, is we are a different team, Kerr revealed. We're a completely different team now since before his injury, and it's obviously because we have Jimmy Butler, and Jimmy is the best ISO player in the league, by analytics. So our style has shifted a little bit. We're playing through Jimmy and Steph. We have to have spacing, and we're doing different things now, so it's an adjustment for JK. Kerr was asked a follow-up question about whether or not Butler's on-ball style favors Kuminga's game. While he talked about how the coaching staff is still figuring out favorable combinations, he re-emphasized the need for spacing, noting how teams like the Toronto Raptors and Memphis Grizzlies have schemed their defenses around taking advantage of the Warriors' lack of spacing. He used the Raptors game in particular as an example of teams daring everyone besides Stephen Curry to shoot the ball from beyond the arc. It comes down to spacing, Kerr said. You got to have space on the floor to make teams pay for that kind of defense. Spacing the floor and where that leaves Kuminga. Three-point shooting has never been Kuminga's forte. He's averaged 33.3% for his career, but in the 6 games since his return, he's shooting 14.3% on 2.3 attempts from beyond the arc. But based on Kerr's comments, that might be a critical factor in how many minutes he gets moving forward. There's still a roadmap for Kuminga to fit in on this team, even if the three-point shooting doesn't improve. That Kings game is the blueprint for Kuminga's role on this team, a high-level slasher who's deadly on the fast break and plays elite defense. As Kerr states in the same interview, nothing about the Warriors' rotation is solidified. We're trying to figure out rotations. We have a lot of guys over the last couple months who are playing well, Kerr said. I think Gary Payton too has been one of our best players. You look at Gue Santos and the energy he's brought. Buddy Hield is playing well. So it's up to JK to just play as hard as he can, fit in, and let it play out. This article first appeared on NBA on Clutch Points and was syndicated with Perm. I didn't know. Quentin Post reacts to what Draymond Green told Warriors chief Joe Lacob about him. Draymond Green made Quentin Post prediction with Golden State Warriors owner before his breakout season. Aside from losing Stephen Curry due to a back injury, it was an excellent win for the Golden State Warriors versus the Toronto Raptors. 124K. While Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green were the stars of the show, rookie forward Quentin Post continues to make strides this season as an elite shooter for the Warriors. Over the course of the season, Post has impressed head coach Steve Kerr and earned consistent minutes in the rotation. Warriors owner thought Draymond Green was crazy for Quentin Post comments. The rest of the league may just be finding about Post's excellent shooting ability, but it seems like Green already identified the 25-year-old's talents in training camp. In fact, Green recently reflected on his conversation with Warriors owner Joe Lacob regarding Post. In training camp, I told Joe Lacob, he can shoot the ball extremely well. He's a good position defender, and he ain't soft at all. I know Joe was looking at me like I was crazy during the year. I told him he's gonna have an impact, and he was in the G League, but he made his way up here, and now he's been a mainstay in the rotation and a key piece to what we're doing. So, yeah, no surprise there. But when I saw him in training camp, and even before training camp, I came in to play with the guys a little bit. I used QP to win every game, and I knew then I was like, oh, he can really shoot the ball. Okay, I can use that, right? And so no surprise to me what he's doing. I don't want to say I knew, but I knew. As a 13-year NBA veteran, Green has plenty of experience and basketball wisdom on his side to identify talented players. It showed in how his prediction about Post turned out to be true. During the post-game conference after the Warriors' recent win over the Raptors, Post was told what Green did for him during training camp. The 52nd overall pick in the 2024 NBA draft apparently had no idea about Green's actions. That's pretty cool. I didn't know that. I didn't see Dre all summer, and then there was one pickup run where he came in the building. I was just trying to play hard. And we were on the same team, and we were cooking that day. I don't think we lost the game. So I probably did myself a favor by I had a really good day that day, so he probably had a good impression of me, maybe. But yeah, I guess he saw it right, so that's awesome to hear. Indeed, it is awesome to hear. Post also talked about Green's recent run where he has found his groove from the three-point line. He's known for his defense, but offensively, he really sees the game in a really advanced and special way. I think we're at our best when Draymond is being aggressive. And yeah, he was hot in the first half, and that's how we need him to play. While Green may be the top name to watch out for this year's NBA Defensive Player of the Year award, his offensive skills can't be overlooked. Green proved it against the Raptors as he finished the night with 21 points while shooting 35.7% from the three-point line.